You are flourishing in so many areas of life, and it is amazing. But one that you maybe haven't mastered yet, and it's time to, is finances. You would love to see growth in this space because if you're being honest, when it comes to money, there is growth happening in spending, but not saving. And that it's time to think differently here. Hey, I'm Alexandra Cavill. I'm a certified professional coach and the founder of Grace-Based Christian Coaching, where I get to serve ambitious women in leadership who are struggling with limiting beliefs and overwhelm and want to create a more intentional and Christ-centered life. So if this sounds like you're in the right place. I'd love to invite you to subscribe for more action-oriented tips and wisdom on how to grow and work in life grounded by God. All right, so let's talk about it. How do you break through finances in a way you never thought possible? So, first, consider how do you feel before you go to spend? Where are you? What are you experiencing? What thoughts, emotions, and even circumstances? And gain an awareness of what is going on in advance of making these choices. Then think about during in the moment. What is that experience like for you as well? And then importantly as well, after you actually do it and spend, what is that like too? And just noticing what's going on. What patterns are you recognizing if you think about what's happening before, during, and after spending? Consider too, like what might be triggering this behavior that you know is not serving you or your life. It's actually sabotaging you instead of serving you. So maybe consider what need are you trying to fill and how might that need be met in a healthier way. So maybe you're doing this because you're stressed and that feels like an outlet or a temporary high. So think about what can you do to reduce the stress, to pull it from the root, if you will, instead of placing a band-aid on it. Consider as well what other outlets can you access because that stress is a real thing. It is a real thing, a real need that has to be met. And so think about how might you do that in a healthy way. Is it screenshotting the item, saving it in a folder for later? So it is still there, but you can maybe access it when you're in a healthier headspace. Is it calling a friend? Is it moving your body? What would actually, in fact, be life giving for you? And maybe it's even making a menu of those different options and going to that instead. You might want to consider what are you believing about yourself when it comes to money? And is that supporting you or is that detracting you from your financial goals? So maybe the headspace is thinking, I'm so bad at this. I always mess up. This is just something that um, I don't do well. And how is that harming you, right? Like it probably is if that is the internal dialogue that is constantly coming up. So, what if you thought, God is in control here? He will strengthen me, He will uphold me with His righteous hand. He will guide me. Change is possible in this. I can have freedom from the burden, the chains of spending. Yes, and amen. Think about what if finances weren't a challenge for you? What might become possible in your life? Maybe you could gain greater mental and emotional space. Maybe you could give more. Maybe you could have less clutter in your home, less guilt on your conscience for making decisions that just aren't bringing good in your world. What if you view this too as God's money that you're managing? What if you thought about you were actually, in fact, stewarding His resources here? How might you approach the spending differently? What if you believe that this could be easy for you? What if you believe that this could be possible for you too? Maybe one of my favorite questions, you guys. What actions would someone take now with the financial goals that you're after? And how can you begin behaving that way this week? How might your actions, your thoughts, your beliefs match those of someone who has already met the financial goals that you're after? Like, yes. What support would be great to start with? We got to begin somewhere. So, I will say in my journey, we tried Financial Peace University online, my husband and I, and it's a great program, but the online, it wasn't it for us. We needed the accountability of going to a program in person. So we actually did stick with FPU and we did it at a local church. So something to think about too, right? Like even myself, someone who is so driven and motivated and goal oriented, we had to get outside of our home and have an additional layer of accountability that way. Um, I've heard a lot of things about Minted, a budgeting app. That might be something to think about. Um, you might want to begin. If you're a client of mine, I've got a really great spreadsheet template that I'd be happy to share with you if that's something you're interested in as well. And like start simple, start simple, start easy. Maybe think about one category that you want to begin with. Maybe it looks like creating a budget for groceries. What I would recommend is a rough monthly budget and then checking your weekly spending and adjusting as needed to stay within that monthly budget. Maybe it's a certain amount each week that you want to dedicate to eating out and being mindful about that. That was massive for us, these two categories. Maybe it's a challenge, no new clothes for a month. Maybe it's even simply starting for a week. And then this is massive, you guys, but if you're really serious about this, outside of your bills, challenging yourself to take out cash, a limited amount of cash, and using that for all the purchases you make in 1 month outside of your bills. So there's real good ones if you want to get started. What can you challenge yourself as a first step? And then think about your giving journey. Like, where are you on that? And I get it. It may seem counterintuitive when it just seems like money is a really big issue. Like, how can I start with giving? How can I start with tithing? Like, that seems pie in the sky, bananas. But that it's radical, right? Like the Lord calls us to it. And when you do it, you will see radical change in your life. This is where our personal breakthrough began. So it's so effective because it generates gratitude with what you have. You get to see money as a tool to bless others with. You get to bring God into your finances through giving. So think about what might help you to stay on track. What would work for that? Maybe it's weekly check ins and then you pull back to monthly at a certain period of time. And you think about too, what is staying on track? What does that look like so that you know what success is? You know what you're aiming for. Consider 30-day challenges, perhaps. That's a favorite of clients. Quarterly goals, short term, long term plans. There's so many different ways to do this. Check out too, I'll include a link in show notes. We've got a fruitful finance episode that I had created, evergreen content that'll really serve you well on this too if you are loving this and want to go deeper. So if you are craving a more intentional and Christ-centered life and want to be poured into in a way that works, I'd love to invite you to head to gracebasechristiancoaching.com/coaching to learn more about our signature coaching packages. This is a topic that I have served clients with over the years, and it has literally been life-changing. And I would love to support you in that space too. And if you're really ready to let go of the overwhelm and doubt and be supported through one-on-one faith-based coaching, I'd love to personally invite you to apply for a clarity call to see if working together is your personal best fit. And then last but certainly not least, fun update. We are 2 reviews away, you guys, from hitting 50 reviews on our podcast, which is a major milestone. And I want to ask, like, will you help us get there? If you'll take 1 minute and head to your podcast app and give us a 5-star review, it would mean more than you know. This is just celebration worthy. And that's what we're about here at GSCC, celebrating the milestones. So thanks so much for listening today. And I'm looking forward to seeing you next time and hearing your growth and your wins in this space.